Hi everybody, today we're going to have a look at the new long wheelbase ID Buzz. So behind me is our demonstrator here. This is what we've got for showing customers, etc., and test drives and things like that. So, and this is a model year 25, all long wheelbases are, but some of the features that are on this as well, which are new, we'll show you because they're also available now in the normal ID Buzz as well. So any ID Buzz you order now will come with the things that are in here. We'll have a good look at those in a minute. But obviously we're going to concentrate on the fact that it's the long wheelbase, and this is what everybody's been waiting for. We've been waiting for this vehicle for quite some time as well. So let's have a look on the outside first. And it doesn't look that much different, but you can tell it's bigger. And that's where the key differences are. We did a video a while ago and we talked about the ID Buzz, what the new version of the long wheelbase is going to be. And it's mainly in this door section. So this door is considerably bigger than the previous one. But I think it works very, very well with the actual aesthetics of the vehicle, the way it looks. So by extending that door and the actual wheelbase of the vehicle itself, it gives it that elongated version, which is what we're used to on things like, for example, those of you that remember when we go back to the old T series and the split screens and that era of vehicle as well, is it's very much, this is in keeping with that. It's got that extended platform. I think it's probably the closest that we've got to going back to that age now that we've actually got the long wheelbase. So from the front, nothing really different. We've got our normal front of the vehicle that's on here as well, with our big smiley faces. A couple of things to point out: we have got a camera on the front of it because one of the packages that this particular vehicle has got. That's the nice big VW badge at the front. We've got our honeycomb grille that's round at the front that's on there as well. Things like our IQ lights, etc. All these things are all good. This is a style model. So this is this sits just below the GTX. And we will talk a little bit about the GTX as well, but this is the style version, and that's what we've got, everybody's got at the moment to have a look at, and the first ones that come into the vehicles. So if I have a look around this side, so obviously this is two-tone. I've got the bay leaf green and the candy white. I've got the black mirrors that are on here, and then the nice black sweeping windows right the way around to the back that's on here, and then our black inserts that's on the back window as well. And then moving around to the rear of the vehicle, electric tailgate, so that comes up easy, that's on there as well. And then inside the vehicle, this is where the big differences are. So looking at the back, I've got it in the 7-seat mode at the moment with the seats up, and we're going to show you how these seats go down in a minute and see how it all works. So we've got a little bench. This is the same bench that you'd have in the normal ID Buzz, but obviously then you'd have another one in there as well, which is split, which obviously you don't get. This still has the function so you can lift it up and get access to things like charging cables, etc. That's in there. So even with the two seats up at the back, I think you've still got a good size boot that's in there. I think for everyday use you've still got quite a bit of space that's in there as well. But as I said, these seats that are in the back, obviously these seats are movable, so you've got headrests that's on them as well that's here, and they can flip down, move up, and we'll show you all that in a moment. But first off, we're going to keep going round, so we go around to the side of the vehicle and have a look at this door. If you open the door from here, this one's got electric sliding doors, so that moves out. And then our seating rail that's in the back and here, we move these forward, that's it. So we've got our 60/40 split that's here, which is exactly the same as we've seen before on the ID Buzz. The key difference with those is the end two have got this bracket on here that's on the top, and that allows you to pull it forward. So if you pull that, for example, on there, that then brings the whole seat forward, and then obviously then you can get in. If I get into the back, and if you sit here in the back, I'll just put my headrest up a minute, it's in there, and then you can obviously see how much kind of leg room we've got that's here, that's in the side of it. We've got a little armrest, somewhere to put our arm that's on the side. Nice and comfortable seating that's here as well. Now these seats at the back here are fully movable, so there's a little catch at the bottom here. You pull that up and you can move it forward. So this is as far forward as these go, and my knees are still not touching the back of these seats. But these seats obviously can move forward as well, so we can adjust the distances to get how much room we want. We want a bit more room in here. By pushing these seats forward, what it is allowing us to do then, obviously it's giving us a bigger space in the boot. You've also got adjustment on the back, so there's a little pull tab at the side here. You can move that so you can recline this a bit more, so if you wanted it reclined. No, I feel nice and comfortable in here. No reason why I couldn't do a long journey in the back. As I said, plenty of leg room here at the front, and if that was moved forward a bit, I would do as well. We've got things like USB-C sockets in the back here, so you can plug your phone in if you're in the back of here. So as I said, so this is the 7-seat version. It's got 1 seat, 2 seat, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we can get 7 people in here completely. So as I said, we've moved those seats as far forward as they go. So this gives you total boot space that's in here with the 7 seats up, which I think is good for the size of vehicle that it is. I think there's plenty of space in here. Obviously there's plenty of space underneath here as well, and some more at the back. And obviously these seats themselves that are in here, these do fold down. So showing you with the maximum boot space, I think most people, if you're going to be using these 7 seats, you're probably going to have them as far back as you want, because at that point it's easy to flip them up and down. So I'm going to pop them back down now, and then we can show you the total load space area then in the rear. So we put the headrest down. There's a little button in here just to pop those down. Okay, so we put this headrest down as well, that's in there. And then to move this seat, there's just a little catch down here. Let's get it out there, a little tab, pull that, and that folds that one down. Another one here, and give that a pull, and that one goes down as well. And then obviously then, as you can see, that's a flat surface then straight from here to here, and now you've got your whole space that's in here in the boot. So the vehicle does come with a parcel shelf, just as in the other ones that's on here, so that just goes in each side there and locks in place. Your seat belts just clip in under there, so it clips in under there on both sides, and then that will allow the parcel shelf to come out. So as you can see now, is that's back to as it would normally be if you weren't using your 7 seats. You've got all that space that's in there, and then obviously you've got your other row of seats then at the back. We've moved them forward. You could move them back to give you more space inside. Show you what that looks like. So if I get in here now, obviously this is with these seats all the way back, so using it as a 5-seater. Have a look how much legroom there is in here. This is ridiculous. There's loads and loads of legroom, loads of legroom. And obviously this is a for 3-seater to sit on here, so if you're during the week and you don't need those extra seats, you can just pop these up from on here. Or alternatively, if you do need an extra seat, then as I said, you can just pull that out, take your parcel shelf off, and pop your seats up in the back. And then finally, all of this in the rear can actually be removed. So this shelf itself, we've shown these on the ID Buzz before. They just basically turn these here, and this comes out. So move that out there. And then these seats that are in the back, so we just pull the handle, pull it, give it a pull. That's move the seat up, and then pick the seat up, and then we can take that out and pop it on the floor. And then that gives us even more space then down to the bottom. So these seats are removable if you need to remove them, and obviously give you extra space in the side. Pick it up, pop it in position, push it forward. How easy was that? Straight in. That should be locked down in position, and then we just put our bench back in. There, open in the hole, and now we've got all the seats down all the way through, so this gives you a maximum load area. Personally, I think this is how most people would have it most of the time. These seats are removable, but why would you want to remove them really? You're not really gaining, I don't think you're gaining a huge amount by removing them as far as the storage area is concerned. And obviously you've got plenty of height and space that's on here as well. And we'll probably move them forward slightly, and obviously then that creates a bit more of a gap. And this kind of gives you an idea what it might be like, for example, on the ID California, which there's been lots of talk about. We've obviously not seen a great deal of that vehicle as yet, but that is something that is coming in some point in the future, but it gives you an idea on actual size, because obviously it would be based on the long wheelbase, I would imagine. And you can see the kind of volume space that's inside the vehicle. Now, we talked earlier at the beginning of the video about model year 25 changes. So for those of you who are maybe new to the channel or haven't seen us before, that's in here as well. Most car manufacturers and vehicle manufacturers have model year changes, which is things that they have to update on vehicles. And those model years doesn't necessarily mean the year in which the vehicle is actually built always as well. So model year 25, for example, started in 24. So they brought model year 25 out in 2024, so the vehicle was built in 24. But model year 25 for ID Buzz sees the launch, obviously, of the long wheelbase, which we're sitting in here. And it also sees some things which have been added on. So for example, these have now got, there's a bigger battery in this particular vehicle. So the long wheelbase has a bigger battery that's entered the lineup. And we're going to do a whole separate video on batteries and range and things like that when we look at this and the normal vehicle, the normal standard length vehicle, in a separate video that's in there. But things like, for example, this huge, and I do say huge, I'll use that again, screen that's on here now is now standard across the ID range. It's the ID Buzz range, even in the cargo. So the van version we get that's here now even has the same unique screen that's in there as well. makes a world of difference. As you probably know, I drive an ID Buzz. That's my daily vehicle at the moment currently. I have the older, smaller screen that's in there as well. More than adequate, no problems whatsoever, but this does just take it up another notch again. Slightly bigger that's on there as well. A slight change of where buttons are on the steering controls here, so we've got the plus and minus, for example, and our tracks up and down. I quite like the tracks up and down actually, where they've moved that to, because it's a little bit easier to change tracks on there, whereas before it was an up and down version that's there. So I quite like those little, only small amendments, but little amendments that's on there. But as I said, the big one was is the screen size of it, and you can imagine that on when you're looking at a map, for example, or something like that, that's on there, and it just gives you an idea as it'll be a lot bigger. One of the reasons for that as well is obviously because this screen, if it's being used, if other people in the vehicle are looking at it, they're further away because it's a long wheelbase, so I can kind of see that. And a lot of vehicles are going to a bigger screen. So it's worth pointing that out because that is something which is different on model year 25 going forward. So they'll all be looking like this regardless of which length it is as well. So I hope you enjoyed today's quick look, having a first look at the long wheelbase ID Buzz. Obviously, I said this is the style version. We've got a GTX version, which is the one slightly above this. One addition that you have got on this vehicle that you can get on model year 25 is the panoramic roof that's on there as well. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, having a quick look at these. If you want to see more content like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell, and we'll see you next time.